3, 2, 1, 0. So can you see, guys, behind me what we have is lots of arrows here without a sign. So basically, how many times have you faced this decision that you don't know where you're going? Is that the stairway to heaven, or is it the highway to hell? Or let's put it another way, let's call it the highway to heaven, as I call this road that takes me to concerts, because without music there is no life. Or, as I like to call it, the stairway to hell. Okay, so what are we going to see here? Basically, I would like to explain to you, if you want to decide whether to learn something online by yourself or with a tutor. But more of that later, as for now, you can follow me under the bridge. As you see, I'm making references to songs like Stairway to Heaven, Highway to Hell, Under the Bridge. Okay, my friends, so from under the bridge we came into the house, and I'm going to explain and share with you 10 reasons why one would take lessons with a tutor instead of learning by themselves. So, first and foremost, it saves you time. So we all know the story of the tortoise and the hare, to which I'll be returning from time to time on this video. But the main reason a tutor saves you time is that basically, let's say you have to build a house in your back garden. Sorry, build a room in your back garden. What would you do? Unless you know already how to do it. Do it yourself, or call a friend who is an expert in doing it to help you, or pay for someone to sort of do it for you. Which is the one that saves the most time? You can go on a platform and learn how to do it online, but it's sure going to take you so much time out of your daily routine that basically in the long run, paying for lessons and taking lessons with an expert is going to be faster. So this is like the story of, if you have to fix your car, you just go to a mechanic. You don't learn how to fix cars yourself. Okay, so that's number one. Number two, learning with someone else saves you money. As much as this sounds like an oxymoron, it actually does, and I'll explain why. Let's say you have a job that you do, well, you do have a job, hopefully, which you do to earn a living, okay? And you're taking time at the longer route to follow your passion, your hobby, doing something else. And basically, this takes much more time to do that you're ending up taking from the time that you usually use for yourself to earn your living. So why would you sort of, let's say you have 10 hours here and 1 hour for your hobby, why should the hobby eat into your living? Whereas you can go with an expert who shows you shortcuts, and that 1 hour is more productive, so that you don't eat anything of those 10 hours. That's number two, how to save your own money by learning with others. So, number one, saving time. Number two, saving your money. Number three and number four, you can stop the tutor on the spot, and the tutor can stop you on the spot. What do I mean with this? Yes, while there are lots of very good online tuitions that you can find on different platforms, you have to sort of, if there is something that you need to inquire about, you have to stop it, send an email or contact the person who has presented it for you, or a comment on YouTube or whatever the platform that you're learning online, and then they get back to you. So while you are basically focused on that thing, you cannot just stop them there and then, like you do in a normal guitar lesson, or a lesson of Photoshop, or a lesson of whatever, on the spot. On the other hand, the other main pro of learning with someone is that someone who was a student before you and has done it before and has over time found out the ways, also being taught those ways from other tutors, how to make shortcuts for everything and to make things very simple. they will stop you on the spot. Like, for example, a commenting in the guitar is some players play the guitar like this, whereas it could be easier like that. So imagine there is a neck of a guitar here, yeah? Instead of angled like this, it's like that. So the tutor there and then spots you. He just moves it like that, or comes from the back and moves it for you. Okay? These are like feedbacks that happen during the lesson, and that you can sort of then practice, take them home when you're practicing. So one of the things that I say to my students who sort of live with partners is have a small stick, show them the right way, and if they notice that you are sitting slightly angled, for example, they just touch your elbow to move it to the side so that you can hold the guitar well. Something else, like you're playing, when you stand, your shoulders are aligned. Sometimes guitarists sit like this, yeah, angled with the guitar to the side. Look at that, how it looks when we are sitting. This is not good for here, and this is not good for our back down here. So you're with a tutor, there and then, on the spot, very simply, the tutor touches you here or asks you to move shoulders straight and sitting up. These are small things that when you are learning online, you either have to do lots of toing and froing or are not being told to you, because sometimes these are things that not even your tutor has planned, basically. So when they see the bad habit, boom, on the spot, they give you feedback about it. So 3 and 4, you can stop the tutor and inquire about something that needs clarification. And 4, the tutor can stop you if they see you developing any habits that could be better. Number 5, why it is very important to learn with a tutor versus doing it on yourself, by yourself alone, is that progress is monitored and is taught to you in your reach. This is so very important. What happens when we go online is that we seek to learn what we want to learn, which is of course normal. It's very human. But what happens? We are looking at our idols who have reached the level of where they are after many years of sort of practice, and we do not know that we've sought information that to be able to play that information we need to have had before gone through stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, 4, stage 5. I like to compare this as with a video game. When you go to play a video game, you start with level 1, and then level 2, level 3, level 4, level 5. The same with random videos on an online platform. You go on a video, and basically you do not know if it's level 5 immediately, so you haven't gone through 1 and 4, you found it daunting, and you say, guitar is not for me. Of course it is for you, my friend, but you just have to go one step at a time. And going through one step at a time, you're learning why you are learning everything, and basically that step always becomes easier. But let me go back to that video game, because this for me is one of the most important points why to learn with someone else, is that on the video game, you know that you've done level 1 and then you've gone to level 5. So you are aware that that level 5 is going to be more difficult. You already know that. If you don't succeed, then you'll have the modesty to go back to 4 or 3, whichever is the case. But if you are learning on random videos, you, as I said before, you seek what you want to learn, not knowing that what you want to learn might be too daunting yet, not for your spirit, but for your fingers that have not yet trained to be able to play that particular thing. So the main reason why basically learning with somebody who has already done it ahead of you is very helpful than learning alone is that you are not skipping through information, and that basically it is laid out to you in the simplest way possible. Of course, keeping in mind your interests. Let's say if you are a heavy metal guitarist, you might not want to learn how to do finger picking or if you are a classical guitarist, you might want to focus less on tapping, which is something very important for metal guitarists, or whatever the case. So yeah, so learning with someone who has already done it before you they are going to sort of help you through listening to your objectives, but keeping it always flowing steadily, one bit at a time, yet steadily, not out of your reach, always giving you the next step, the next challenge to make you a better player sooner. Thank you very much for following this video on YouTube's channel called Cool Gool Music. If you're liking what you've heard so far, feel free to leave a comment or even ask a question or even make a suggestion of ideas why you personally think that basically it's better to learn anything, not just guitar, with some other person who has done it before and over the years became experienced in it, versus trial and error and trying to do it yourself. Also, if you like what you're hearing and you want more of these videos and you want to be notified first thing as I put them up, feel free to hit the subscribe button. Okay, so number 6, basically staying focused. This is the most important thing. So I am a guitar teacher, you are a student, you came to me and you paid me X amount of money for X amount of time. Definitely you want to get all of that time in a good focused lesson. So coming from the moment you come through the door to when it's time for the lesson to be over, you want to get the best out of it. So contrary to being online, where you've got that sidebar distracting you with another video, or you've got your friend calling you, during a lesson, you're basically all guns blazing, thinking guitar. And that's the main thing. And you've got also me, your tutor, reminding you in a friendly way, of course, that you are here to focus on the lesson. Personally, with my lessons, the first thing I ask every student, and I do it myself as well, out of respect to you, mobiles on silent. This is very important. I mean, you dedicated time from your day to travel to me, or even if you're doing the lesson via Zoom or Skype, to put time aside for a lesson. You don't want to sort of, out of that time that you paid for, to lose time that way by sort of fidgeting around. So point number 6 is that taking lessons face to face or via online with an experienced tutor, they're always going to keep you on the ball, thinking about what you can get value for money from that lesson. Okay, so from time to time, when I'm talking on video, I call you and talk to you because I believe that you are my friends. So this is the most important thing that you build also when you are not learning online, but also learning, how do you say, with a tutor. Yeah, so from time to time, of course, as we are learning, we get to know each other and we become friends. So basically, despite the main thing that it is in my interest to show you the best way how to learn the guitar, I wouldn't want any other way for my friends. But, you know, from time to time, let's say, for example, I need a special, last time a student of mine lent me a dehumidifier that was better than mine. And there was a time where a student needed to store something, and instead of sort of paying for it, I told them, I got space in my garage, just leave it here for about a month or so, and then when you want to take it back, take it back. Things like these, you know, like for example, sometimes I get free passes or discounted passes for concerts, and I pass some to my students. I also from time to time make something like a Student of the Month award. But yeah, the most beautiful thing is you're talking to another human constantly and we become friends. Number 8, the organic dynamic of lessons. So, as much as technology is advancing nowadays, doing things online with me or other teachers or the do-it-yourself approach is never gonna give you that sort of on-the-spot feel of changing sounds, learning about sounds, learning how a bit more delay could make the sound better, or a bit less sound gate would make the sound more open. Things like this, like for example, you know, you can sort of open up to your tutor and tell them, listen, I have this sound and I would like to improve it in a certain way close to so-and-so artist. This is something that sometimes I also do personally. For example, I wouldn't know all the effects in the world. I have the modesty to say it. You know, knowing how to drive a car doesn't mean you're a specialist in every car in the world. And I read the manual. Sometimes I tell them, leave it with me for a week. And then I look into it. And then when they come back, because more or less most effects are a chains of sounds, they follow the same sort of idea. I would then come back to the lesson after, and we sort of, I tell them, so about we tweak some here, we tweak some there. So that's the organic dynamism of lessons, I call it. It could happen also in any type of lessons, but we're talking about guitar here. So that point, number 8, the organic dynamism of lessons. Number 9, doing it right in the first place versus fixing it later. You know how we spoke about earlier about that to save time and money, if you need to fix your car, you would go to the mechanic. But how about you've learned the guitar so well that you do not need to go to the mechanic, right? That would be amazing. So that is number 9 for you guys. That anything you need to do, because you've learned the right way how to do it, the liability of making a mistake or of doing it wrong will be less, which opens up your head not to think about the technique of the fingers, but the music in your head, so then your fingers can then obey and take you on that route. This is why I said earlier, I will be coming back to the story of the tortoise and the hare. The tortoise goes steadily, knowing, relax, chill out, that is reaching the target. The hare hops, gets tired, stops to sleep, poops, hops again, maybe goes back because they went on a wrong video, so they discovered that they need to go back. So see, this is sort of the conclusion of nearly everything that we've said so far. Do not. So number 9 is this. Do not have to fix it, but do it right in the first place. Number 10. Nothing that is worth paying for in life is free. I am sure that every one of you has a relative who has taught you this in your life. In my case, it was my great-great-grandfather. And also the teachers that have taught me the guitar and made me understand what modesty is about. Taking it slowly and gradually. Because the only way to eat an elephant is one bite at a time. Thank you very much for having watched this video. As I said earlier, if you want further videos and want to be notified, hit the subscribe button somewhere down here. And very important, if you are a tutor yourself and you've got a suggestion why learning online lessons is more, why learning with a tutor is way, whether face-to-face or online, is more effective than learning do-it-yourself, just pop them down, whether you're a tutor or whether you are some random visitor, like a student, random visitor to this video. Finally, any comments, likes, shares are always welcome, and I hope to be able to deliver to you more music and more videos about music in the future. Thank you very much. Cool Gool Music. Cheers. Okay, after I compiled the video and I was gonna start editing it, 2 more ideas came to my head. So, number 11, the 11th idea, why learning with a tutor is better than learning alone, is that they can put the theory that you are learning under your fingers, into your ears. What do I mean? The way we communicate is like this, how our head communicates to our music. We have the idea, with our eyes we give the order to the fingers to do it. that sound that we produce on the instrument comes into our ear, and thus it is confirmed. Now, learning theory alone or learning guitar alone, do it yourself in your own time, okay, is not maybe going to get that connection as sooner. What do I mean with this? Let's say you've got a note. Actually, let me grab the guitar to explain this. Let's say you've got a major scale and you want to change it into a minor scale. It's because you know that a major scale is made out of the 1, 3, 5 of a major chord, sorry, is made out of the 1, 3, 5 of a major scale. Now you know also that the minor chord is made out of the 1 flat 3, 5. This finger here, who is playing the third, is flattened. Flatten, in other words, means to go 1 fret less. And basically, that theory is formed. The same with, say, for example, we are going to create a Dorian mode, which is a minor, with a sharpened sixth. You see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, sharp 6. So we would go and play instead of, we'll play, that's the raised 6. And that gives it a different sound to it. If you close your eyes, you can hear it. It's different than. So why did I close my eyes? So that my ears focus more on that note that I am hearing. So what does the tutor do here in this case? Is that the tutor is helping you get that connection between the mind, the eyes, the ears and the fingers. Does it make sense? It will make sense more in lessons, but that's the whole idea, that basically the theory that's in your head is found under your fingers faster. Finally, the last and 12th point why learning with a tutor is better than learning the guitar or any other instrument on your own. And in fact, not many tutors teach this, but the best ones do. Because they want the best for you. It is not the amount of time you spend practicing, but how you practice. In other words, quality over quantity. A tutor always explains, a good tutor is always going to explain to you the golden rule, why any exercise is so. What are you going to achieve by doing so? I explained before about the posture of the hand. You're going to have your hand easier, more relaxed, so that your fingers are free to play faster or play harder chords on the front. So, what does a tutor help you do with this qualitative training I'm saying? They help you understand why you're doing it, so when you've achieved what you needed to achieve, you stop practicing it so that it does not eat time into learning new things. You see, coming back to the video game, level 1, instead of jumping to level 5 like the hare would do, you would do like the tortoise, learn and go through level 1 sooner, because you've listened before how to approach it, and then you're at level 2. And then you've done that so soon that you go to level 3. So quality over quantity, not rushing through, but learning why, understanding that you've achieved it, stopping to revise something, or decrease the amount of time that you do it, so that then you have time for new things. Or even, as I was saying before, 10 hours of work, 1 hour of practice of your guitar. When you start, it starts 15 minutes. It builds to 20, half an hour. Eventually reaches more. You cannot, maybe you don't have more than half an hour, 45 minutes in your day, even if you want to practice. So you learn the quality and how to practice right, so that things that you do not need to practice anymore, because now you do not know, you know them so well that you do not know that you know them. Like the light in your bathroom when you wake up in the night to go to the toilet, for example. Things like this. They are in your subconscious, you see. That's how it works. Learning a couple of chords, so that later when you are playing your rhythm, you focus on your rhythm. You don't need to continue learning those chords anymore. learning scales so that later, and playing them in time in alternate picking, the next step of your video game, so that later when you come to improvise, you're just singing notes in your head and finding that melody under the guitar. And that in turn makes you a better composer, and one that wants to explore rather than just copying music, copying your idols. You start creating music. That's something that is not for everybody's call. Everybody can do it, but not everybody chooses to do it, unfortunately. I am very against cover versions and bands making money from playing cover versions. I am against it completely. I'd rather you do bad art and have tried than making money from playing cover versions. I mean, occasionally cover versions are good if you change their style and stuff, but that's a personal opinion. I'm not going to inflict it on you. If you don't like it, you are free to leave a comment as well, but no problem. But anyway, so as I was saying before, I hope these 10 that became 12 reasons for learning, not alone but with somebody who has done it before, are helpful to you. Click the subscribe button for more videos to come. Cheers!